Welcome to my review of How to Master the English Bible by James M. Gray. I read this book several months ago. It was very helpful for me. It is 103 pages long. This one is very small, so maybe they have bigger editions of it. I don't really know. It's a great book. It even breaks down, even talks about how Abraham Lincoln read the Bible and the effect that it had on his life and his childhood, even into his marriage and things like that with his wife. And obviously, with the title like this, it's captivating. Everybody wants to know their Bible better. And one captivating takeaway for me was as I was reading this, they talk about James M. Gray. One of the main points he was making was reading the Bible synthetically and letting synthetically as in letting the Bible sink in, SYNCN or SINKN. And one of the ways to do that is, you start reading a book, and this, I'll just say this or explain this, but you'll start reading, say it's even Genesis, and you in one sitting read the whole book of Genesis until you finish it. And if you could, you would read it again. Obviously, I think Genesis takes 90 to 120 minutes, right? 2 hours to complete, whatever it may be. But you want to read it from front to back, and then you'll keep doing that. And obviously, some books of the Bible or letters in there are easier to do so, but you have to tough out the long ones. But the thing is that as while doing that, you're reading through, and everything is really sinking in. And I actually tried this approach this winter as I was reading First and Second Chronicles, and just in that part of the Old Testament. And I actually did really start to capture what was happening. Saul was, dropped as a king, and he had his fall. And then David picked up, and David picked up where Saul left off. And he defeated Saul's enemies that Saul could not defeat. And so things like that really are fascinating. I can see the genius in this. And with that one point that I make, one impression that was left on me was just the mental toughness to read the Bible and the dedication to read a Bible book front to back, especially a longer one. And, just the task of reading and applying our Bible correctly, how serious that is, and how much time it takes. It's a lifestyle, especially after you read a book like this. And so I definitely would recommend this book to a friend. How to Master the English Bible. It talks about other, practices, like when you're preaching, to not go back into the Bible. So you don't want to be preaching out of John and then going back into Proverbs. You would preach progressively. So if you're going to preach for an hour or two, you start in Proverbs, and then you end up in John, and you can end in Titus, hypothetically speaking. And if I captured his point right, and there's a practice and a way to do that. And guys, this book is a cause of some revival. I don't remember all of the testimonies to it, but when people apply this practice, it moves people spiritually. And you can read about those things in this book. It's a little book, but it's very powerful, and it definitely moved me and helped me learn my Bible better. This book definitely glorifies God for obvious reasons. The better we know our Bible, we know knowledge puffeth up, but if we're using our knowledge and our wisdom appropriately, then it'll be a blessing to others. And I would give this book a 9 out of 10. I don't know why I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. Maybe I'm just a critical male like that. But anyways, definitely, I do recommend this book. It's a good, quick read. You can probably read it in, 2 or 3 sittings, depending on how fast of a reader you are. So I highly recommend this one.